Second question. Do you feel it is important for the nation to buy back Osage original reservation lands? If so, what is your strategy in doing this? Be specific. The first to answer this is Hank Hainzinger.
Well, this is kind of near to my heart. I farm and ranch, and I have quite a few acres. But anyway, yes, it is important to us to try to get our lands back. I feel like every chance a place comes up for sale and someone gets it that's not Osage, you just think, oh man. So, you know, I think that we need to have some help in place for our members as far as if there was 10 acres, 20 acres, 640 acres comes up for sale, they ought to have a place to go to the agency or a department to go to where they could get some help if they needed financial help or if they needed maybe economic help if they wanted to make something of this. And try to get some of our lands back just in the people's hands, just in our tribe's hands. Don't necessarily have to be owned by the tribe, but I like to see Osage people own Osage land. And one of the ways that I've kind of kicked around thinking that we could do this would be kind of a win-win deal is like a credit union situation, quick credit union. A guy could go get small loans, cheaper than the bank. He could, and then in turn he'd be paying interest and he'd be paying the tribe back like that. It'd be a win-win situation. So, but I think it's important for us to get our lands back. That's the only way we're going to grow and get huge and more lands that we get back. So, I guess thank you.
Justin Mays.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes. Do you feel it's important for the nation to buy back Osage original reservation lands? If so, what is your strategy in doing so? Please be specific.
I've always lived on Indian land all my life. I've never lived anywhere else. The elders, my father, always made it a point. He lived on Indian land, and it was important to him. Gives you, economic advantage. I mean, that's what it's all about. Just trying to develop some economics for your tribe, whatever it takes. And other things will develop from there. So I think it's very important to keep your Indian land, live on it, and have some benefits from it. If you don't, you let it all go and you won't have anything. You might as well go live somewhere else. I think it's very important. Thank you.
Do you have a proposal on how you carry that out?
I do. I think economic development, there needs to be more businesses for the Osage tribe. There's not enough right now.
Yes, I'd like to first say that I am a landowner, and I'm proud to say that my family has just about all its original land allotment that we still own. And so that shows that my people have always had a great respect for land ownership here on the reservation. And I did propose in my literature, my mail out, that I would like to establish our own Osage Realty office for buying back land, any land that's up for sale in the boundaries of our reservation. I think it's critical, urgent. I have a map that shows all the restricted land that we have left, and it's really a sad thing. I have that in the car. I'll bring it in later if anybody wants to look at it, and you'll see how critical this need is. Thank you.
John Jech. I feel it is important for the nation to buy back our land. I feel like we need to put some policy, or not necessarily policies, but we need to really consider why we're buying back particular pieces of land. We need to look at what land may be used for, what the opportunity for developing the land if we buy it. We also, we probably need to set up some sort of a mechanism to purchase the land where the individuals we're buying from are not aware of who's purchasing the land, because I feel like individuals will try to take advantage of the nation in that way. jack the price up of the land, and we would end up paying more for the land than what it's worth. It is, I guess, a dream of certain people for the nation to buy back all the land, but I agree with Mr. Hainzinger that we need to have some mechanism in place for individual Osages to give them the opportunity to purchase their own land. My brother and I, we own approximately 230 acres or so, and we were fortunate to have the opportunity to purchase that. It's not restricted Indian land, but we do own it. And there's just not a lot of opportunity for other individuals to purchase land because land is expensive now. When we bought our land, we probably paid $600 an acre, and now people are asking $1,300 an acre for land that you can't do anything with except look at. So we really should have something in place, not just go out and allocate money so that we can buy the first parcel of property that comes available. We really need to look at the land and see if there's any development uses there, either recreational or housing or something like that. But we need to put some mechanisms in place in order to do that.
Thank you. Jim Ryan. Yes, I absolutely do believe in repurchasing restricted property. I was very excited and happy to see a bill by Congressman Supernaw that allowed us to buy 185 acres about 5 miles south of Pawhuska on Highway 99, right across from Miss Kitty's. I think that's a wonderful addition to our property, and I think it would be a great location for a hotel casino. Now, ONCA 1167 was recently amended in the last session. That's a bill for us to repurchase property, and the amendment was to limit the amount over appraisal that we can pay. So I definitely want us to buy the property, but just as some other people have said, we don't need to pay much more than market value, and this amendment to that bill defines that. Personally, I would support any legislation that would repurchase this restricted property. Thank you.
That ends the answers, the first set of answers for that question. Now we have opportunity for rebuttal. And let's start again with Hank Hainzinger.
Hello. I think it's very important for us to get our lands back. Like I say, whether the tribe owns it or tribal people, it's the backbone of a lot of things. If you've got your land, you've got a little bit of staying power. I'd sure a lot rather see our land go to us 4 gentlemen or 5 gentlemen than to one gentleman just east of us in the ways with a bunch of buffaloes. So, I'd like to see us have this and maybe, I guess, keeping some people out, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit. Thank you.
Justin Mays.
Yes. I believe that there's land to be purchased out there to make it where the tribe doesn't always have to rely on casinos. Casinos are really great. You can't say enough what they've done. That's why we're here today. Not entirely, but it's the money they generate, the revenue, the taxes. It's a big deal. If you can get more Osages involved, entrepreneurs who want to do things for the tribe, they pay their taxes just like everybody else. It's very important, and that's why I think the land is very important.
John Maker.
I once talked to a former minerals councilman, one of our respected elders from Hominy, and I asked him what they would have done back in the day had they had all this gaming revenue. And one of the things he told me was it was critical to start trying to get our land back. In those times, all the money that the tribe had to operate was mostly our mineral royalties, and that went out to the shareholders. So at that time, we didn't have the money to purchase land, but now we do. So he told me it's urgent, critical for us to regain our land base.
John Jech.
John Jech. I feel it is important that we, as a nation, repurchase our lands, but again, we need to prioritize our spending, and we'll have to look at what we want to spend the available funds on. Do we want to spend it on education and healthcare and elders, or do we want to purchase land? I feel like at this time in the nation's growth, we maybe can appropriate a little funding for purchasing back land, but right now we really ought to prioritize what our needs are as a people and be sure that we provide funding for our education, our seniors, and our health services. Again, appropriate some money for purchase of land, and again, we probably need to make sure that there is a need for the property that we're purchasing, and it's not just going to sit there unused.
Finally, for this question, Jim Ryan.
Thank you, Jim Ryan. I'd like to speak a little bit about economic diversity on the restricted land that we buy. We've discussed on our Facebook sites Osage beef and possibly getting into the cattle business from the bottom up, starting with our own Osage cattle ranchers like Hank, growing our own beef and possibly buffalo, moving that into our production plant, and maybe at some time featuring in our casinos. The Osage chef might serve you a tenderloin that's tall grass fed.